and welcome back to another Remembering Forgotten Memories video. So, apologies for the low energy. It's like first thing waking up, and it's a bad allergy day. And the allergies are making my asthma bad, so I'm all out of breath even though I've done fuck all nothing. So, if I start coughing like an old lady or something, yeah, that's why. My lungs are very angry this morning, and meds don't seem to be helping. Cool. Love that for me. Anyway, so, I meant to film and post this yesterday, just never got around to it, and time got away from me. So, anywho, this week's storytime video is going to be about, well, this is kind of a bearing your soul one, where the very important moment in my formative years where I realized that mean girls grow up to still be mean girls. They're just bigger and meaner mean girls. And it's really sad to see when you see that they're exactly as awful all grown up as they were when they were still in school. So, this brings us back to the summer in between 7th and 8th grade, which was a very transitional time. I had no idea. I was about to be plucked out of my private Catholic school I had been in since kindergarten and thrown into the public school system. I had no idea until the first week of school that was happening. Yeah, I thought I was going back with my friends and everything. Nah, just, whoop, nope. Throwing you in over here now. Cool. Even though that's literally what I had asked and begged for, like, my entire childhood, when it finally happened with no warning, it kind of freaked me out. But anyway, this was at the point where I didn't know it was happening yet. So, for some unknown reason, there was a day, or I guess an evening, we all get brought over to some chick's house. I did not know this woman. I don't know what she was in relation to the family, but my mom seemed to know the mom. My dad seemed to know the dad. So I don't know if this was somebody they knew from church. I don't know if this is like a couple they went to school with. I don't know. I have no idea. And to this day, I still don't know what the connection is there. This is not somebody we had ever, like, hung out with before or anything, so it just raises that many more questions of just what the actual fuck was going on here. But anyway, so, this would have put me at about 13 and a half years old. So, I figured I was going to do like I did everywhere else that I got toted along to that I didn't want to be at. I'm gonna just bring my Walkman and my headphones, and I'm gonna go chill in a quiet corner somewhere, keep to my damn self, and zone out. Ha ha, I thought. Yeah, no. So, we get to this place. They have a dog, and some cats. So I figure, alright, actually, maybe, scrap the music idea, maybe I'll just go play with the animals, because that is actually the preferred here. My siblings went to go play with the animals. Yet, when I went to go over to play with this dog, the woman whose house it was, like, kind of, like, yoinks me over. No, we're gonna have girl talk time. Can we not? Like, I don't even know you, but okay, fine. And it's not really, like, being posed as a question or an offer. It's like, no, we're going to do this. So cool. I get wrangled into the kitchen with she and my mom, this little, like, kitchen table alcove-y kind of thing. Kind of like a diner booth, kind of one of those situations. So, like, once you're, like, thrown at the one in the back, you're kind of trapped in there. Cool, I hate it already. My claustrophobia is already through the roof right there, right now. I'm just like, great, I already hate my life. So, fine, I'm in the back, and I'm already trying to piece out on this by sneakily putting the headphones on. Maybe it won't be too obvious. I'm not listening to shit that they're saying. No. She knocks the headphones off my ears, which, first of all, don't fucking touch me ever. Second, rude. Anyway, so, this was also before I knew I was autistic and why I, like, just react so strongly to shit like that. So, anyway, yeah, so, she's like, no. You're gonna be part of this conversation, so, let's dish. Have any good, juicy gossip? Bro, like, this is, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, the first and the only time I have ever in real life heard somebody talk like that. Have I heard people gossip? Of course. Of course. Most of the mean girls that I had to put up with in school was because of their gossip bullshit, like, of their bullying me through gossiping and making up stories about me that weren't true. Obviously, I know people gossip. But the way in which she framed it, I have never heard anybody just talk like that. That sounds like something out of TV, or like out of a magazine or some bullshit. No one talks like that. And I'm just, like, so uncomfy with the whole concept, like, immediately. And I have nothing to contribute, so I'm just being quiet and quietly listening, super uncomfortably. She brings over coffee. Okay, fine. At this point in time, I technically wasn't allowed to drink coffee yet, but I mean, it was being served to me, so fine, cool, I'll take it. My mom wasn't objecting, so cool, I guess I'm having it today. But, it wasn't the only time I'd ever had coffee at that age. It was a thing that my mom wasn't really cool with me having, but she knew sometimes I'd sneak it, whatever. But, like, anyway, as I drink my big-ass cup of coffee, but she knew damn well with, like, the history of addiction in our families, especially with stimulant-type drugs. She really was trying to help me on that level. I found out later. But anyway. So, sits me down with coffee, and she just starts yakking my mom's ear off about all of this drama with all of these people that I don't even fucking know, and I'm just thinking, why am I here? I'd really rather be playing with that dog in the other room. But obviously I'm not saying that. I'm thinking it. I really desperately just want to listen to my music and not be dealing with this damn situation. So I even try, fine. I'm just gonna leave my headphones right here, just resting at the base of my neck, and just sneakily turn my music on and just kind of try to ignore what's going on around me and transcend the situation and just quietly listen to my Beatles in peace. But anyway, yeah, no, that got noticed right away. And why this woman was so fucking pushy, like, honestly, even in hindsight, this sets off so many red flags for me. She literally grabbed the wire and unplugged it from my Walkman. She said, "No, we're having girl talk." Again, what the fuck? No one talks like that! No one talks like that! What the fuck is this? So now I'm just annoyed and pissed off, but fine. I'm just still silently sitting there, listening to all of this go down. And my mom's starting to, like, throw in some bullshit gossip that she knows about some people that I really don't know, have any attachment to. I'm just uncomfortably stuck listening to all of this. Cool. Until all of a sudden they hit one story that all of a sudden something pings in my head. And I realize this time I know who they're talking about. Because they're going on about, so did you hear about Judy's daughter? And, you know, I heard she'd been in a psych ward. And she'd been, like, so mentally ill. She's, like, pulling out her eyebrows and her eyelashes. Like, she's really deranged. Da-da-da-da-da. And all of a sudden, like, I think at some point she mentioned a last name, and it pinged when she said that, like, well, I mean, she had no chance of growing up normal when her mom's a beekeeper. And now I knew for sure. I was like, changing the name here. Do you mean Jerica? Yeah. Do you know her? And she's, like, laughing like it's a big joke to her. I'm like, that's actually one of my best friends. That's really mean. And she's just like, oh, you hang out. And she, like, it was kind of the unspoken, oh, you hang out with her? Oh. Now she's, like, throwing side-eye at me like she's instantly sizing me up, trying to figure out, well, if you hang out with her, what's wrong with you? Yeah, and she, like, keeps going on about my friend. Half this shit, like, that's coming out of her mouth, I am, like, quite certain it's patently untrue. And the other half, I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but I'm just like, a couple times I was like, no, she doesn't. And no, she isn't. Like, and she's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I know what's actually going on there. What? So somehow now she jumps from talking about one person's kid to a different person's kid, and, oh, and you know about Sharon, and oh, I heard that she was also in a psych ward too for compulsive lying, and they had to send her to a camp for that. Do you mean Sharon, the last name? Oh, you friends with her too? Yeah, actually. And she's not one of those. How did she know? She's so good at it, she got sent away to a psych ward. How would you know? Pretty sure I'd know. I've hung out with her since, like, 3rd grade. And now she's, like, really, really, like, turning her attention on me, like, trying to figure out, okay, what's wrong with this one? And she jumps kids again. Like, first of all, how sick is it that an adult is gossiping about literal children? First off. And second, that it, like, she's getting some kind of sick joy and glee out of it. Like, is this why she pulled me in? Because she knew I was roughly the same age? Because these girls were 1 grade lower than me, but the same age as me because of, like, the birthday cutoff thing with school. So, they were my same age, just technically a grade down because of arbitrary fucking rules. My life would have been easier had they just been in my class, but whatever. Or if I'd been in theirs, either or. But regardless, so she goes on, one more step. Yeah, did you hear about Amethyst? I heard she has an eating disorder. She makes herself throw up. I was like, and now I'm just pissed. It's just like, I need air. I need out of here. I need out of here. I need to go stand outside or something. I need to get some air. And I kind of just, like, shimmied under the damn table and, like, launched myself across the room before anyone could stop me. I was just like, I can't. I just cannot with any of this. What the fuck? How did this girl know the exact circle of girls that I hung out with at school, zeroed in on them, and is talking shit about all them, and then expects me to be cool with that? First off. And second, and she's, like, looking at me like, is she trying to fish more info out of me, either on them or on other kids? Like, what the fuck? What is the frickin' motivation here? This is so sick. This is so sick. So I go outside, because I'm just, like, having a full-blown panic attack at this point. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we here? I want to go home. I want to go home right now. And I walk outside to hear my dad basically doing the guy version of this. I'm like, oh my god, no. Like, fuck. Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm going back in the house. I'm gonna go play with that dog. All that I wanted to do in the first place, anyway. I'm gonna go play with the dog. Except now the dog's busy humping a pillow, so now I'm uncomfy. I'm like, nope, actually, fine, fuck it. I guess I'm going back in the kitchen. Cool. Cool. Hate my life right now. So I go back in. She's like, oh, do you feel better now, sweetie? Do you want some schnapps? So, thing number one, I was no stranger to drinking at that age because my mom let me do it at home, specifically with schnapps. So I'm turning to her, I'm like, I thought we only do that at home. She's like, it's okay, I'm right here. It's okay. And I'm just like, every red flag is going off in my head of, there is so much wrong with this whole situation. I was like, okay, guess we're doing that. Alright, sure, give me some schnapps. And that is the point where she starts knowing she'll be able to fish info from me at this point that she can fucking run with. Because all it takes is a little bit of booze and you can get most people to talk. Except it's not about those girls. Why would I talk shit about my friends? I'm talking about the mean bitches that are in my class. And everything that's wrong with them. And that's wrong with their corrupt parents that literally, like, pay through the nose to keep their kids in the school even though their children are holy fucking terrors. And really they have no business in being in that kind of a school, but whatever. It's basically pay to play in those kind of schools, in case you're unaware. Yeah, it's like that. And basically spilled my guts and felt really skeevy and gross about it, like, the whole rest of the night. But she was, like, living for all of it. And she's like, it's like, ew, like, what is wrong with all of this? And my mom had already, like, heard all of these, like, a million times over, because she's used to me coming home in tears, bitching about these bitchy catty mean girls. And literally, I have not pieced together quite yet in that moment that this is what those girls grow up into. This is exactly that. Like, I realize it in hindsight now, but I'm like, holy shit. The adult versions are worse than the kid versions. Oh my god. What the fuck? This is so fucked up. So, okay, fine. Now I'm all kinds of mixed up. And I'm second guessing everything. And I'm like, is this just what grown-ups do, and I've finally hit an age where they're letting me into their inner sanctum. Like, is this just part of being a grown-up? And I had so many conflicting emotions about this, and just felt really mixed up. Felt like I couldn't talk to my mom about it, because it felt like now she's in on it somehow. Even though this is the only time we had ever spent time with this person. We never did again, by the way. So I still, to this day, don't know what the fuck that was about. Like, what the shit was that? What the hell? Yeah, Anyway, so then the next time I go to my grandma's house, on my dad's side, I'm still kind of troubled by all this, but at the same time, I think I've internalized it so hard by that day that I think I'd, like, come full circle and tried to make peace with it, and, well, I guess if that's how grown-ups act, let's just try to jump in and be a grown-up then. So there's, like, a quiet moment in conversation, which, I mean, normally I talk and talk and talk and don't shut the fuck up, as you guys well know. But there was, like, this weird moment of silence, and it was just she and I in the house, and all of a sudden I'm like, so let's gossip! And her face just looked horrified hearing those words come out of my mouth. She's like, gossiping's a terrible thing, Jennifer. Why would you want to do that? Do you like it when people talk about you behind your back? Well, no, of course not. Well, what do you think gossip is? Ladies don't gossip. And just, my grandma was so far ahead of her time and was so classy. Like, she wasn't mad at me, but she just basically put me in my place in like 2 seconds. It was like, oh. And just had like very, like, quiet, her talk about how people who gossip are very miserable in their own lives. And they build themselves up by tearing other people down. That's why they do what they do. They have nothing worthwhile going on in their own lives. So all they want to do is just grip onto what other people are doing that they feel is just so horrible for whatever reason that they feel the need to spread it like wildfire. But they have nothing to show for themselves. And this is how they built themselves up. And it's actually very sad. And it all made sense in that moment. And this is the moment it clicked in my head that that's what mean girls grow up into. Oh my god. And then realizing all the girls that had bullied me so hard all throughout school. Yeah, they may be queen bees right now, but they're eventually going to grow up into that. And that's going to be really sad, actually. I hate to say, it's pretty much been true from what I have seen. There are a few that have come out the other side that turned out to have basically just been going along for the ride because they didn't want to be the target of that shit growing up, so they kind of just joined in with it, but they weren't really, really into it. They have apologized, and that means a lot to me. But the ones who really were, like, just black soul terrible, yeah, they're just as terrible today, just as catty, just as bitchy, and are pretty much the living embodiment of that one woman. Like, all of them. It's like, wow, some people really don't change who should have. Well, I mean, they may have bullied me my entire childhood and made my life a freaking living nightmare, but on the other hand, I can say that at least I grew up not like one of them, and thank God for that. Like, I'm so glad I didn't grow up to be one of them. It just, yikes, big yikes. It just, that was such a pivotal learning moment for me, where it just, everything became crystal clear, and all of these things that had seemed like so unjust and so painful to deal with all growing up suddenly was like, okay, I may have been the one suffering right now, but in the long run, it's them. This is a reflection on them. So, it made it a lot easier moving forward to really not put much stock into that shit. Which is why I say my public school years weren't anywhere near as big a nightmare as the private school years, because I finally kind of understood the cycle of what's going on here, and it's more just a reflection on them than it is on me, what they're doing. So, it became a lot easier to ignore. I mean, it doesn't really help with the whole social isolation when they make you an outcast for their bullshit, but at least when you understand what it is of where they're coming from and where they're gonna end up, it's like, well, this sucks, but yeah, it does make it a little less bitter of a pill to swallow, but it's just like, also a reminder of Don't become that. Don't turn into one of them. Don't stoop to that level. Even if you want so badly to be liked that you want to fit in, don't. It's not worth it if you have to go to that extreme. Those are not the people you want to be friends with, believe it or not. There is your life lesson for today. If any younger people are watching this who might be in a similar situation, I promise you those are not the people you want to be friends with. Even if they seem like they're the cool ones right now. No, I promise you. I promise you, you don't actually want to get to know them. You don't actually want to be friends with them when they are actually terrible people like that. That's not to say that every popular person is a terrible person. There are some that are genuinely great. But the ones that are the catty mean girl types, you don't want that. You don't need that. I promise you. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what made me think about that the other day, but something reminded me of it. I was just like, the more I thought about it, I was like, that was a really, really weird situation to have even happened in the first place, but at least I came away with it with, like, a really important, like, life lesson out of it, and I'm glad that I learned it when I did, because that is a very crucial, pivotal age to learn that at, and especially right at that moment that was, like, the cusp of going into a new school for the first time since being so indoctrinated into that other one that I'd been in since kindergarten. This is turning a page. This is starting a new chapter. We'll start anew here. So, unfortunately, that same year, a couple of the worst offenders from the other school who were mean girls also transferred, but that is another story for another day. So, anyway, that is it for this one, guys. So, as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more, it's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.